Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and in this week's video I'm going to answer some questions that have been sent in to the channel. A couple of them pertain to long jump and triple jump speed, and another one the validity of drills for performance. Okay, let's start with speed. A question came in from Pirata King, who has a best 100 meter time of just over 12 seconds and a best long jump of over 6 meters 90, and he asks whether that's good. Many of these comments on speed are deriving from the video I did about a year ago on how fast you need to be to jump a certain distance for the long jump, and it used research from the IAAF and also some old German research that I discovered. So do check out that video if you want to specifically find out more. Now, returning to the question, if you've got a jump of around 690 to 7 meters and you're only running 12.2 seconds, that probably indicates that you're actually faster on the run-up than you actually are doing 100 meters. There are a lot of other factors that will influence your 100 meter time, such as your starting capacity, your reactive ability, and your acceleration, and your ability to hold on to maximum velocity. It could also indicate that you've got a considerable amount of jump power, i.e. the ability to transfer what horizontal speed you have into vertical velocity and horizontal velocity at the point of takeoff. Therefore, you're maximizing your jumping abilities. As a coach, I would rather see a long jumper or a triple jumper being very fast over 10 meters or 20 meters preferentially than having a good 100 meter time. Obviously, the 100 meters time is important, but if you're training for a long jump or a triple jump, then you need to be fast on the run-up. And specifically, you need to be very fast in the 3 to 4 steps coming into the board. Elite male long jumpers reach maximum velocity, optimum velocity on the second to last stride out from the board, whilst for women it tends to be on the third step, although of course there's going to be exceptions, and therefore you need to train specifically on your run-up to make sure you can reach maximum velocities at the point of takeoff and effect a great takeoff. So you need to specifically train over and over again on developing run-up sprinting speed and not necessarily 100 meter sprinting speed. Of course there's going to be a connectivity between the two. However, if you're a horizontal jumper, you need to think in terms of run-up speed, run-up accuracy, and optimization of the penultimate step, for example, in the long jump, and the setting up of the takeoff. It's crucial to be able to do the right training that is going to enable you to maximize whatever horizontal velocity speed you have at the point of takeoff. You need to be able to convert that speed into distance, and that's what makes the biggest difference between the sprinter and the jumper. A sprinter may be able to develop greater horizontal velocity on a run-up if they were going to try to jump, but invariably they're not going to be able to coordinate the movements and have the neuromuscular capacity in order to actually take off and jump as far as their speed would notionally indicate. Okay, let's take a look at the second theme or question that has come in to the channel, and this is from Nishad Kumar, and he's questioning the validity of in-place drills for developing the long jump takeoff, for example. And he's quite critical in terms of what he says, but he doesn't actually explain why. So I'm all for people writing in and providing their comments and their experiences. But if you do challenge something, it would really help if you would say why, because then I can try to address the potentialities and solutions, or I may even agree with what you're saying. Anyway, he's talking about the validity of drills to the takeoff, that's in-place drills. And I indicated in my reply on the channel in the comments section that the actual validity was in developing the movement patterning, albeit at a slower speed, but the motor learning of the movements, and also the ability to switch on the right muscles to effect a takeoff, for example. It's quite interesting that if I train people new to jumping, or indeed new to my group, they don't have the ability to swing their hip, or invariably they won't. Being able to move the hip, the thigh in front of the body, is crucial for the long jump takeoff and the 3 takeoffs throughout the triple jump, and it's also crucial for sprinting. So we do a lot of in-place drills that develop that capacity. We also work on the arm action so that the athlete becomes familiar with what they are trying to do. Now, of course, the forces, the speeds, the joint angles are going to be different to what you're going to encounter when you actually jump. However, as a way to understand the movement, educate some of the muscles involved in that movement, I see them as a highly valuable way of learning the event. You could, of course, argue that all drills performed at whatever speed and over whatever distance have a minimal relevance to the actual event itself, because of those differences between the event and the drills I've previously commented on. That's why I like to see drills as a conditioning modality, a means of developing, for example, the capacity to react to the track surface through a bringing back of the foot, as in a foot contact drill or a skipping drill, or the ability to swing the hip forwards into a takeoff, as in a drill where you take off and land on the free leg. Also, a lot of heel recovery drills are beneficial for sprinting, in that many young athletes are unable to fully switch on, recruit their glutes and hamstrings in order to bring about an effective heel recovery. And of course, the muscles to the front of the hip are crucial also in developing that hip speed. I would see sprint drills, jump drills, therefore, as a conditioning means. Okay, some general comment and some news. I'd like to thank everybody who's submitted a jump in the virtual triple jump challenge. We had over 300 entries and there were some really great performances, and they came from all over the world. So I hope that competition provided you with some motivation during lockdown, and that you benefited from it and saw ways to improve that particular skill, standing triple jump, and maybe it's something that we're going to do again in future. But just again, thanks for entering. Also, let me know whether you'd like me to still post some lockdown workouts. In the UK, some of the restrictions have been lifted or are going to be lifted in terms of being able to train outdoors, and also for outdoor sporting events and competitions to restart. So here, we're sort of going back to normal, albeit very slowly. But I do know that in other parts of the world, you're still on lockdown and tracks and gyms are not available for use. So do let me know in the comments section below whether you'd like me to post some more lockdown style workouts. I will be doing real workouts which follow our workouts. So you're going to be able to have videos that you can use that are going to help your training. However, at the moment, I'm probably going to be filming them on a track, which I know for some of you, you may not have available. So do let me know what you think. I've looked at Neurocore MyTouch EMS bioelectricity machine, and also soon to come onto the channel, or if you're watching this out of order, it's on the channel, a video on the Theragun Elite. And I look into detail about these products and try to give you a value as to whether or not they are useful for you as an athlete. So again, let me know what you think of those videos, and also whether you think I should continue them, and also whether there's any products that you'd like to see me further test and evaluate. I'd like to say that I've been getting quite a lot of video submissions from coaches and athletes from all parts of the world asking me to analyse the performance of the athlete or on behalf of the coach. I try to do what I can in terms of addressing the videos and the queries that are sent in, but obviously I don't have the time to answer them all. So don't think it's because I'm ignoring you. Well, in some respects I am, in terms of you not getting a response from me, but I can only answer so many. So I will do what I can, and it would also help me if you do send in a video for analysis that you state whether or not I can use it on the channel. Then there's going to be a value for me more so in looking at that video, as I can create some content from it that will also benefit a lot of other people as well. It often amazes me by what I get sent in from you guys out there, athletes and coaches. Now, of course, I'm not talking about poor technique, for example, but I'm talking about some of your stories, your accomplishments, your goals and desires to be an athlete. And I had a quite unique one recently. It came in from a Samuel Parata, who's a comic book graphic artist, and he did a representation of Pirata from the latest issue of the Jumper magazine. Pablo, of course, is on the cover. So I'd like to share that image with you now on screen. And also, if you're into graphic comics and comic art, then do check out Samuel's social media. And potentially he's going to do some other illustrations for future issues of the Jumper. And of course, do let me know what you think of the Jumper and what you'd like to see in future issues. I think that's about it for this week's question and answer answering. So good luck with your competitions if you've got them coming up, and of course with your training, and do leave any comments you may have in the section below or through my other social media. And of course, do subscribe to the channel.